Hey everyone, come and join me on the mat. We're going to start today's class standing. Today we're going to focus on some lovely stretches for the whole body. So come onto your mat, bring your feet hip distance apart, stand up nice and tall. Just close the eyes and take a couple of really nice deep grounding breaths. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And as you stay with your breath, just feel the mat beneath your feet. Bring awareness to the muscles in the legs, making sure that we're not locking out the knees. Bring one hand gently to the abdomen, the other hand to the base of the spine, and just feel your position of your pelvis. You might have a slight posterior tuck, you might have a slight anterior tuck, but just find that neutral spinal position. Just let your pelvis move beneath your hands. And then once you're there, let the arms fall by your side. On your next breath in, think of that core engagement. So we're going to lift up the pelvic floor muscles. Draw the belly button in towards the spine. Breathing length into the torso, right out through the top of the head. And take those shoulders and just bring them up towards the ears. Draw them back, slide them down towards your back pockets. I'm going to take a breath in and bring the arms up. And exhale. Just float back down. And again, breathing in, big deep breath, breathing out into those side ribs. And exhale. 2 more. And last one. And exhale, let the arms float back down by your side. Draw your shoulder blades down towards your back pockets. Take a breath in and let the chin drop towards the chest. And then exhale, we're going to start to round down. So scooping the belly in and up, lifting through the upper back as you round forward on that exhale. Bend the knees as much as you need to here if you're tight into those hamstrings. Take a nice deep breath at the bottom. And then exhale, lift from your center, contracting those abdominals, uncurling the spine, one vertebra at a time. Let's do another couple of those. Breathing in, nod the head. Breathing out, rounding forward, lifting through the upper back. Breathing in at the bottom. Breathing out. As you come up, just let those arms hang. Notice whether you're keeping tension in the arms, the shoulders, the hands. And if you are, just try on this next one to just let that go. Let the arms just be like extra weights rounding you forward. On that exhale, scoop, lift from your center. Think about stacking the spine, lower back. Middle back, upper back. Good, last one, we're going to stay down. Rounding forward. And let's just clasp the elbow with the opposite arm. And then let the weight of your head really round you forward. Try to get that connection of thighs and chest. If you need to soften the knees a little more, go on ahead. And then just simply maybe nod the head. Gently. Nodding yes. Turning to shake no. And then just let go of the elbows. If your hands fall to the floor, great. If they don't, you want to rest your hands on your thighs or your shins, you can do that too. We're just going to bend the knees, sinking the hips back as we inhale, and then exhale to straighten. So I turn side on, breathing in, bending, sending the hips back as if you were going to hover above a chair, and then exhale, tip those sit bones up towards the ceiling. Breathing in, breathing out. Trying to keep that connection of thighs, chest close. We have 4 more. From here, we're going to stay in this forward fold position. We're going to bend the right knee, keeping the left leg straight, sorry. You're going to place your right hand on the floor if you can. If you can't, you want to be a little bit higher, you can have the hands onto the thighs. So you decide. And then we're going to open the left arm to the side. And really rotate the torso. So what you're aiming to do is get those shoulders stacked. You can look to the floor or look up towards the ceiling, whatever feels right. And then gently release. We're going to stay on that same side and do 2 more. So think about the movement and the rotation coming from those right ribs as you rotate to the left, drawing that left arm up and back. And release. 1 more time. Exhale as you open, trying to keep the pelvis nice and still and steady. Inhale to release, and then just gently bring both hands either to the floor or to the thighs, straightening both legs for a moment, and then we're going to bend the left knee. Right leg is straight, right arm opens out to the side. We rotate the torso to the right this time. And slowly release. 2 more times. Exhale. Wrapping from the left ribs. Twisting from the waist. Last one. And then straightening both legs, just keeping the knees soft. We're going to come and slide the hands up the shins. Press the hips back. Press the chest forward into a flat back extension. Just looking ahead, keeping the neck long. And then fold it forward. Finish your fold. So again, if I turn side on, we go from our folded position, hands to shins. Slide the hands up the shins. Press the hips back. Press the chest forward. Really lifting up from your center. And then release the fold. I'm going to do 2 more of those. And release. Last one. You can also keep the fingertips on the floor if that works for you too. And just straighten out that spine. And fold forward. And then from here, we're going to very slowly, because we've been hanging here for a while, just take your time uncurling your spine. Go slow, and then even slower. Oh, just bringing your shoulders back and down, taking your eye gaze in front. Good, and just shake out the legs, shake out the arms. We're going to come to the end of our mats. Take a nice deep breath in, nod the head. Let's take a roll down that's going to bring us down onto the mat. So bring the hands firmly to the floor and then walk it out into your front support, your plank position. So you can drop straight down onto the knees or you can stay up. Push those heels back. Press the floor away with the arms. Lifting from the center, really scooping those abdominals up. Lift your thigh muscles as well. Neck nice and long so you're strong as anything. You stay here all day, right? And let's bring the knees down. Coming into your quadruped position. So we've got the wrists beneath the shoulders, the knees beneath the hips. Find length in your spine and your neck. We're just going to take some extension and flexion here. So really separate the fingers. And then we're going to start in flexion in our cat stretch. So moving from the pelvis. Start to scoop belly button to spine. Tuck that tail under as you roll up into your cat stretch. Just let your head drop. And then come through that neutral position. You can choose to stay here, or you can come into that extension, that cow. So you let the abdomen drop. You lift and separate the sit bones and press the sternum forward. I guess just to the top of your mat so you don't compress into your neck. And lift from your center, moving from the pelvis back into your cow. And release to your extensions. Just going to do a couple more of these, just at your own pace. Exhale as you round up. Inhale as you release. And again, exhale. Inhale. Last one. Come back through to that neutral spine position. Take the leg closest to me and step it forward. So just take your hips back a little bit and then sweep forward, stepping that foot through. If you find it gets stuck back here somewhere, just grab hold of the foot and walk it forward. So we want to have that front knee over the front ankle. And then just slide that back leg out behind you. It's going to be a really nice hip flexor stretch. Just keeping the hands light on the floor, keeping the spine nice and long. And then we're going to press the hips back, so the hip comes back over that back knee. Front leg is straight and flex the front foot and drop. So we're getting a really great hamstring calf stretch in that front leg. Let's just do that a couple of times. Bring the weight forward, that hip flexor stretch. Press the hips down, forward, lift up if you can. Hands come down, and we press back. Drop the head down towards the knee. 2 more times. Sweeping forward, lift. Drop and press back. Last time, forward. Just bring your hand onto that front hip and just gently pull that crease into that hip crease back slightly and press that back leg forward a little. Just bringing the pelvis, making sure the pelvis is in alignment. Hands come down, press back. Same thing in this position. Just think about maybe pulling that straight leg, that hip back a little and pressing the other hip forward a little. So just leveling the pelvis. Drop the head towards the knee. Come back up. Slide that front leg through, back into your quadruped position. Send the hips back as you breathe in. Exhale, big step forward with the leg furthest away from me. Again, help the foot forward if you need to. Ankle, knee in alignment. Press forward so you can slide that back leg out a little bit further behind you to deepen the stretch into the hip flexor, the psoas muscle, lifting up. Bring the hands down, press the hips back so the hip lines up over the back knee. Flex that front foot, drop the head down towards the knee. Remember that pelvis alignment. So just pulling that hip back of the straight leg, pressing the hip slightly forward of the bent leg. And coming down. And lift. Release. Push back. Forward. And lift. It's great stretches into the hips. We hold a lot of tension, physical and emotional tension in the hips. So it's great to just work at releasing. Last time. Take it back. Drop the head. Come forward. And release it. Good job. Okay, we're going to come through to seated. Take the legs out in front. Take the hands behind the thighs, lifting up nice and tall. Take a breath, and as you exhale, we're going to take a roll back to bring our spine gently and slowly down onto the mat. So just one vertebra at a time, connecting down to the floor. When you get there, just bring the feet in, hip distance apart, and take a moment to just be aware of the connection of the back body into the mat. So once more, the soles of the feet, just feeling the pads beneath the big toes and the little toes, the heels. Focus on your alignment so the knees aren't splaying out or drawing in, the nice alignment of ankles, knees and hips. Core is engaged, pelvis is in a nice neutral position. Just take a little bit of movement through the pelvis to settle in. We're zipping and hollowing through our center, feeling those back ribs connecting down into the mat, shoulder blades, arms. And then take the leg closest to me and just draw it in towards your chest. Take your hands onto your shin and take the other leg along if you can. You're just going to actively engage that straight leg down into the mat. We're going to take hold behind the thigh, and then you're going to straighten as much as you can and bend, bringing the heel, squeezing the calf into the hands as you draw down. Extend up on the exhale and bend, squeeze into the hands. Good, 4 more. Exhale. So again, we're focusing on lengthening those hamstrings. You just have to think about your spine, the length in your back, and whether your pelvis is kind of rocked back, gone into that posterior tilt. So just make sure that your pelvis, the tailbone is still down and not curled off the mat. Might mean your leg is not as close to your chest, but that's fine. I want to keep that nice long spine position. So we're going to keep the legs straight here, and we're going to flex. Oh, and then bend, point. So as you flex, you'll feel that stretch move into the calf and point. Flex and point. 3 more. All right, we're going to hold that flex position. Take a breath. And if you're happy to, we're going to exhale, climb up that leg and just reach further towards the foot. So you might still be behind the calf. You might be up towards the foot. You might even be able to grab the big toe with your peace fingers, the same arm, and just draw in, using your abdominals to hold yourself up rather than hanging off the foot. So you want the hand to be light wherever it lands. Just drawing that leg in a little bit further. And then we're going to bend the knee, bring it in towards the chest as we release the head. Place that foot on the floor and change legs. So sliding the leg furthest away from me and towards you now. Take the supporting leg long and engaged on the mat. Hands behind the thigh. And we're going for that straighten and bend again. So extending up, stretching into the hamstring. And then bend, try to squeeze your calf muscle towards your hands. Good job. We've got 3 more. So let's hold this one straight. Again, remembering to keep the spine nice and long. We've got that flex, dorsiflexion. Moving that stretch into the calf as we push the heel up towards the ceiling. 4 more. All right, let's keep that flexion in the foot. Take a breath if you're happy to. Using those abdominals, we climb up the leg a little bit closer to the foot. So remember, you can hold on wherever you want, but try not to hang on to the leg, but use the core to keep yourself up. Again, if you can, just take your peace fingers to the big toe and gently draw in a little bit more. You can have a slight bend in the knee here if you need to, if it's too intense in the hamstring. Supporting leg is still connected. And then what we're going to do from here, keeping that core connection, if you're holding onto your foot, just let go and reach behind the calf. We're going to energize that supporting leg, just hover it off the floor. And we're going to go into our single straight leg stretch. Nearly said it. Ready? Little pulse, pulse. Scissor through. Pulse, pulse. Scissor. Scissor. So keeping that rhythm. If it gets too intense at any stage, you can change it to a tap and to a tap. So just bending the knees. Otherwise, stay with me. We've got 4 more each side. And 3. Can you lift a little bit higher for 2? Last one each leg. Bring both legs up. Hold it here. Reach, reach, reach. And bring the knees in as you bring the head down. Good job. Just take a little rock from side to side. And then we're going to bring the feet back down onto the mat. So again, hip distance apart, arms by your side, just resetting, finding that neutral spine and core connection. We're going to take a breath in, sweep the arms out wide, bring the hands behind the head, just supporting the skull, lifting the elbows off the floor so they're just in your peripheral vision. You don't want to be hugging your ears. And just notice as you draw those elbows slightly off the floor, how that just opens those shoulder blades. Take a breath. We're getting set for some curl-ups here. Exhale, contract those abdominals, peeling the head, the shoulders up. Just looking through those knees as you breathe in. Let the weight of the head fall back into the hands, and exhale as you release. 3 more like that. Take a breath. Exhale up. Breathe in at the top. Exhale down. Breathe in at the bottom. Exhale up. Breathe in at the top. Notice whether you're trying to bring your pelvis up to meet you. If you've got that posterior tilt, just bring the pelvis back into neutral. Release it back down. 1 more like that. Breathing in to prepare. Keeping those front ribs closed. Exhale as you contract up. Breathing in to hold. Exhale as you release. Now we're going to add on a little bit. Breathing in to prepare. Exhale, contract up. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Bring them down behind the thighs as you exhale. Lift a little bit higher. Bring the hands back behind the head. And release it back down. Pretty intense, right? We've got 3 more of those. Breath in to prepare. Exhale as you curl up. Arms reach up. Down by your side. Exhale as you lift a little higher. Draw the shoulders away from the ear. Inhale, hands come behind the head. Exhale, goodness me, release. 2 more. Breath in to prepare. Try not to rush these. I know it's tempting, but hold it here. Breath in as arms come up and reach down. Breath out as you lift higher. Breath in, hold those abs like steel as the hands come back. And release it down. One last one. Exhale it up. Inhale, arms reach up. Arms reach by the thighs. Exhale, lift a little higher. Last one. Inhale, hands come back. Exhale as you release. Well done. Just let those hands reach out up behind you. Keeping the core switched on though, so don't let those ribs pop. Back arch. Just keep that core connection. And then slide the arms out wide. Palms facing up. And drop the knees towards me. And just bring that top knee up a little bit further. And rest your hand to deepen that stretch. And if it feels okay, just lift your head and look down the opposite arm. Nice deep breaths. Feel that stretch in that top side, back into that top hip. Both shoulders gently anchored to the mat. Just bring the head back to center. Gently draw the knees back through center and take them away from me. Top knee can come up a little bit higher. And look down that back arm. Bring the head to center. Come back through. We're going to stay with some nice twisting movements. So just take your back leg furthest away from me, and cross it over your front leg. Okay, and then we're going to take the knees to the back, so away from me. So that top leg is helping to draw the bottom knee down towards the floor. So you should feel this stretch into your side, back, down into that front hip, into the groin. Feel that into the abdominal area almost. Really lovely stretch. If you want to deepen the stretch, just try to work that hip down towards the floor a little bit more, that front hip. Keeping the legs crossed, really brace the abdominals. Use your abdominals to pull the knees back to center. Keeping the back leg still crossed over the front. We're going to take the knees to the front this time. And just take your head and your eye gaze the other direction if it feels good in the neck. So you might feel this one slightly differently. It's going to be more into that bottom corner of the back. Into that top hip. Take a breath, and as you exhale, use your core to draw back through center. And then we're going to slide the top leg into a figure four stretch. So the same leg that was crossed over, you just slide the heel onto the opposite thigh, into that figure four position. We're going to make sure the pelvis is level. Take a breath and really open. You can use your hand to help you open that hip, but just make sure that the hip doesn't drop. Keep that pelvis level. Breathe into that stretch. Taking the arms wide, bracing the abdominals nice and strongly. We're going to pick the foot up off the floor and deepen that figure four stretch. And then just slowly tap the toe, just the big toe. So we're working into the abdominals here. Draw in. Getting that beautiful stretch into the buttock. the back leg, and then just tap the toes. So you're working those abdominals. 2 more. Squeeze in and tap. 1 more. Squeeze in. And this time we let the foot come down. Unhook that back leg, place it on the floor. Take the front leg, like closest to me, straight. Cross it over the back leg. And we're bringing the knees to the front first. So you're using that top leg to pull the bottom knee down towards the floor. So again, you're going to feel that stretch into the hip flexor, into the front, into the waist almost, in that top side of the waist. Also into the low back. Just breathing into it. You can take your head the opposite way if it feels good. Always love a stretch class, but I think now more than ever our bodies need to stretch, don't they? Take a breath, brace the abdominals, exhale, draw back up, use your core muscles. Keeping that front leg crossed over the back, we take the knees to the back this time. Again, slightly different sensation and stretch. You're going to feel that one into that thigh, into the glute, and into the back. And bracing the abdominals as you come back to center. We're going to slide that front foot onto the back thigh, so that figure 4 stretch that up again. Just taking that hand to help open the hip. Keep the pelvis level. And then we're going to bring the abdominals into play by drawing that back knee in. Feel that deep stretch into that front glute. And then slowly just tap the big toe down. So bracing the abdominals. Keep those ribs closed. Really suck down towards the mat. And tap. 2 more. Exhale. Inhale. Last one. And let the foot come down. Uncross the legs. And let's just let the knees drop from side to side. So just windscreen wiper those knees. Left to right. And I want you to finish with your knees towards your screen, towards me. We're just going to come onto our sides. Just going to shift my mic. And we're going to set up for some lovely book opener stretches. So we're going to have the knees at 90 degrees. So knees in line with hips, ankles in line with knees. And then just coming down onto your side. Bringing that arm, scoot back, Simon. Oh no, I can't scoot back because I need the rim. Space issues. Make sure you have enough space. That's a good point. So you're not going to whack, like me, the radiator or a plant or, I don't know, a child or a dog. Make sure you have enough space. And we're going to drop down. Stack the hips. Stack the knees. Stack the shoulders. You can rest your head in a pillow if you prefer here. And we're going to bring the hands together. Take a nice deep breath in. Before we move, just think about creating length from armpit to hip. So rather than that hip encroaching in on the waist, just think about pushing the hips down towards the bottom of your mat. And we're going to take a breath in. Bring that arm up. Just follow the fingers with your eye gaze. And as you exhale, just reach that arm out behind you. If you're a little bit tight for space like me, you can bend the forearm and just draw the elbow down. And we want to make sure that these knees stay connected and stay close to the floor if you can. And then we close the book. On the inhale, let that breath go. Prepare. Again, just notice what's happened in the waist. If you need to, lengthen it. And once again, inhale. And exhale. Inhale to close. I do a total of 4, so 2 more. Let that breath go each time. And beautiful stretch into the shoulders, into the upper back, mid-back. Last one. Remember, squeeze those knees together. Keep them connected to the mat. So there's almost a bit of opposition going on. So as you open the chest to the ceiling and you reach behind you, your hips are going to want to follow. So you want to push your hips forward and resist. You'll feel that twist in the spine even more. All right, from here, just take that bottom arm straight out so you can rest your head. Top hand in front of chest, hips are stacked. We're going to keep the feet in this position and just do an oyster variation. So you're still in that 90-degree position. We haven't kicked the heels back this time, but we're just going to hold it because it's a little bit trickier in this position. And down. Exhale. And inhale, just light tap. So you're really going to feel this into the hip, into the glutes. Squeeze to open. So the torso is still and long from armpit to hip. Hips remain stacked the whole time. So if you feel your body rolling backwards and forwards, your torso rocking backwards and forwards, it just means that that top hip is rolling back. So we want to really focus on keeping that pelvis still. 2 more. And then we're going to lift the top leg clear of the bottom and lightly tap. Exhale, lift, and lower. So just keeping the leg parallel, so we're not externally rotating. We're just lifting up and down. Good. 6 more. Three. Anybody else's legs shaking? Just mine? 2. Stay with me if you can. Stay strong. Keep bracing those abdominals. Last 1. Oh, good job. Bring those legs together. Just push up onto the forearm. All the way up. Just going to hook myself on again. Then the leg that's just done all the work, that top leg, we're going to take it and cross it over the bottom. And then you're going to notice that that buttock is lifted up. So I want you to aim it down towards the mat. Ouch, ouch, ouch. If it's too intense, take the bottom leg and straighten it out in front of you. Otherwise, we want to sink both sit bones into the floor. That's the challenge. Sit up nice and tall. And we're going to turn into that bent leg. So you're going to turn towards your thigh. So it's the opposite arm is going to wrap around. Lift and lengthen the spine. Take the hand behind and just look over that back shoulder. So we want to be focusing on keeping the spine as long as we can, hugging that thigh into the chest. And just letting that go, the rotation first. Uncross the legs. Let's take it down onto the other side. So we've got the book opener first. Remember, knees up, Knees in line with hips, ankles in line with knees. Reaching the arms forward, your shoulders are stacked, your hips are stacked. Head is either on a cushion or on the floor. We take a breath in. Reaching that arm up, just follow your fingers with your eyes. And as you exhale, reach that arm out behind. It doesn't have to touch the floor. You want to keep the knees together and connected down into the earth, and then inhale to close the book. Exhale to prepare. What about that hip? Is it encroaching in? Just push it away. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. 2 more. Remember that opposition. As you rotate through your shoulders, through your upper back, that top hip is going to want to go too. So we want to push that top hip forward. Create that opposition and deepen the stretch. Last one. Closing the book, sweeping that bottom arm up to support the head, keeping the legs in that position. Stacking the hips, bracing the abdominals into that oyster variation where we squeeze to open. And lightly tap, so you're not resting down in between repetitions. You're keeping that work on, it's just a light tap. Exhale to open. Inhale to close. And we can really be anchoring down through that supporting leg as well and pressing the sides of the feet together. All those little things will deepen the intensity of the movement. 5 more. Remember, if you feel movement in the torso, rolling sensation, you just want to minimize the movement in the leg because that top hip's rocking back. So you want to keep those hips stacked. Now we're going into that second set where we keep the leg parallel and just lift it clear. And hover it down. Lift it. And hover it. Anchor down through the underside, that bottom leg. What about those abdominals? Are we still bracing strongly through the abs? 6 more. Exhale on the exertion. Inhale as you release. 3. 2. Last one, stay strong. Bring the legs together, well done. Pushing it up onto the forearm. Coming up, that top leg that's just done all the work. We're going to cross it over. That buttock is lifted, so now the aim is to get that sit bone down. Gracious me. If that is as tight as for you as it is for me, and you want to take that bottom leg straight, by all means, please do. Otherwise, just breathe. Use your exhale to help you sink that sit bone into the mat. And if you're kind of like me, where you're all hunched over because it hurts, just think about taking a breath and lift your chest. Find length in your spine. And as you exhale, we're going to wrap the arm around the thigh and turn into that bent leg. So if you're turning and there's nothing in front of you, you're turning the wrong way. So you're always turning into that top leg. into the top thigh. Just reach that hand behind you. Use the hand to find more length in the spine as you look over that back shoulder, and just breathe. Help your body to let go of that tension. The only thing that's going to do that for us is the breath. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Oh, and just release that twist. Lift the hip, uncross the legs, bring the feet into diamond. Soles of the feet are together. And that diamond position with the legs. Take a breath. And as you exhale, let's just fold forward. Again, using that breath to just help you let go here. You've done a lot of work into the hips. I promise you they're going to thank you for it. Let's roll it up. And we're going to come back onto the mat with the legs out and take your feet out towards the edges of the mat, maybe even slightly wider. And then take the leg, the foot that's closest to me, and bring it in against the opposite thigh. So you can have it thigh, you can have it lower down to knee, or even calf, wherever feels right for you. And then just try to let that knee fall down towards the floor. We're going to lift and lengthen the spine so we're up on both sit bones. Then we're going to add some rotation. So we're going to take the sternum, at the moment it's facing straight out the center of our mat. Now we need to think about rotating so the sternum lines up over that straight leg. So you're rotating from the waist. Take a breath, and then as you exhale, we're just going to climb down that leg. Now what you'll notice is if you don't keep that wrap on, that rotation from the ribs, as you go forward, you'll just automatically gravitate down into the center of your mat again. So you constantly want to focus on that rotation of the ribs, working at the waist, and then reaching down the leg. And just breathing here. So my cues are just going to be same arm that leg is straight, same arm that leg is bent here, because with filming and mirror images, I don't know whether you're seeing my left as my left or as my right. So with that in mind, the leg that is straight, the same arm comes to the inside of that leg. So if it's your left leg that's out straight, it's your left arm, left hand that comes to the inside of that left leg. Whether you can reach the ankle, the foot, or whether it's just into the calf, that's absolutely fine. And then the same arm of the leg that is bent is going to reach out to the side and then up to the sky, and you're going to rotate your chest. So you're turning away from your straight leg. You can use that arm that is pressing into the straight leg to help you get more rotation. And then reach the arm up to the sky. You can look to the fingers, you can look to the knees, whatever feels right for you. And just reach, reach, reach. And then we're going to let go of that rotation. Again, lining the sternum up over the straight leg. And from there, just slowly start to come up. And then find center with your sternum. How did that go? Twists. They're always fun. Let's change legs. So bringing both legs again out. So they're just outside of the width of the mat. This time I'm going to bring the other leg, so the leg furthest away from me. Bring the foot in towards the thigh. Let the knee fall out to the side. So we're going to add that rotation of the torso first of all. So we're going to bring the sternum to line up over that straight leg. So wrapping from the waist to rotate. Keeping that wrap in the waist as you round forward over that straight leg. You're just breathing here. And just take a moment to notice the difference from each side of the body. Is this maybe slightly easier for you on this side? Slightly tougher? Maybe they were both super easy. Or both super hard. So from here, remember, same arm, same leg. So same arm of the straight leg comes to the inside. So if your right leg is straight, it's your right arm. Comes to the inside, whether it's calf, whether it's ankle, whether it's foot. And then the same arm of the leg that's bent opens out to the side. We start to turn the torso and reach up. So you're turning your chest towards the bent leg, away from the straight leg. And you're using that arm that's attached to the straight leg to help to deepen the rotation in the waist. And then we're going to release the rotation. So we bring that sternum again lining up over that leg. And roll it up. And bring the sternum back to center. Good, we're going to take both legs out in front. Feet now just lining up with the edges of our mat for our spine stretch forward. So lifting and lengthening into the spine. Anchored down with our sit bones. So much in our life at the moment is making us like this, isn't it? So if you just think about releasing, imagine bringing your back up against an invisible wall. And if this is challenging, it's a challenging position for the hamstrings, for the hip flexors. So if you need to prop a little cushion underneath your bottom or like a folded towel, that's absolutely fine. You can also just slightly bend the knees here too if it's too intense. So just work the movement to suit you, how your body is feeling today. Just lifting the spine, lifting the arms. We're going to take a slight external rotation so the palms are facing each other, thumbs are up. Breathing in. And as you exhale, we're just going to nod the head, start to round the shoulders, lift through the upper back, scoop belly button to spine, and fold it forward. Take a breath in, reach a little bit more, and then exhale as you uncurl the spine, stacking the vertebrae. One on top of the other. Good. We're going to do 5 more. Breathing in. And breathing out. So rather than collapsing forward, think about lifting through the upper back, lifting those back ribs. Breathing in, reaching a little bit further, anchoring down through the legs. Exhale as you come up. Just notice whether those shoulders have hunched up around the ears. Slide your shoulder blades down your back. 4 more. Exhaling forward. Inhaling, anchoring down, and reaching a little bit further. Exhaling as you come up. Can you flex your feet, push your heels away, draw your toes up towards your body, deepen that stretch into the legs. Awesome, we've got 1 more. Good. Bring the legs together. Bend the knees. We're going to bring the leg closest to the screen. Bring your knee in towards your chest, hands onto your shins. Leg furthest away is straight. We're going to take a little assisted roll down. Breathing in to prepare, lifting up tall. Exhale as we roll it down. Control it. Lift and energize that straight leg. We're going to bring it down into a single straight leg stretch position. And we switch. 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 Squeezing the knee in towards the nose. Reaching out, hitting the same point each time, that same target with the big toe. For 4 and 4. 3. 3. 1. 1. I want you to finish on the opposite leg than you rolled down with. And we're going to use that leg to roll up. So push the shin into the hands. Brace the abdominals. Contract and roll yourself up to seated. We're going to take the hands behind the hips. Bend the knees. Feet hip distance apart. Just going to take that tabletop. So just take a breath. Lift the chest. Push the floor away with the hands. Lighten beneath the hips. And if you feel up to it, just press up towards the sky. And slowly lower down. We're going to do 2 more. Just letting the hips lightly tap. Last one. Big breath out. Lifting through the back body. Hold it here for 5. 1 and slowly release. Just come to cross leg position on your mat. Let's bring the arms by your side, reaching one arm up and take it across into a side bend. Just open that shoulder back. Look towards the elbow if you can. Anchor the sit bone if it's started to lift. And gently release. Other side. Up. And over. Anchoring sit bone. Reaching with that arm. Beautiful side body stretch. And release. Just bring both arms up. Palms together. Hands to heart. And we are done. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the stretch class. I hope you feel a little bit longer, a little bit looser, than you were and whenever you started. We all need a good stretch now more so than ever. So stay safe, stay well, and I will see you all again really soon. Bye for now.